Hello, Farhan.
Hey, how's it going, Gregory?
Everything's okay. Everything good. How are you?
Good, good. Everything is good. It's been a very quiet day here. It's been raining almost the entire day, so I just stayed at home Saturday, just relaxed and rested.
Good for you.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
about you? How was your day?
It's only morning. I wake up before half hour, and it's chilly now.
Hmm.
Country as usual. It's hot, uh, and it's good. It's nice. After very hot summer, a little bit chilly. It's cave. You know this word, cave.
Yeah. Um, like it's refreshing, a little bit of a refreshing
Good
feeling.
morning.
Yeah. But I hadn't heard of that word specifically before, Gregory. What's the Gregory, can you still hear me?
Yes,
Okay. Yeah, so you said it was Khaif, you said?
cave. Yeah.
Khaif.
It's meaning bliss.
Oh, like a breeze, like this? Like it was
No,
a
no. Mm,
maybe we can spell it? Ah, bliss. Uh-huh. Yes, yes, yes. Bliss as in blissful. Maybe it has blessings. It has a little bit of blessings. Bliss also means happiness, right?
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's I mean.
Nice, nice. That's great. Um, So, in terms of, I guess, how cold does it usually get in the autumn in Israel? Does it get, it doesn't snow, right? I know because Israel seems like it's
No.
very warm.
Yes, we don't have snow at all.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
There's not even in the mountains, like in the south, or no, the south is desert actually.
yes, we
Uh,
have one mount in snow. Yes, and it's an attractive place for all country. We
for the
go to snow.
people who want to ski, right? All those people.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. That's good. At least there's one mountain that has snow, right? But yeah, it's nice. I like warm temperatures mostly, but springtime and fall and spring and autumn are really good because the weather is normal. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, so it's blissful. You can say it's blissful.
Blissful. In the
Yeah.
winter, we don't have snow, only rains.
Hmm. Which I think that's nice too, right? If it rains, it kind of cools things down. That's probably nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the summer, it's no raining at all summer.
Hmm.
After that, raining is very nice.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's great. I wish I wish we had four seasons in every part of the world just to get that experience, because people come to the U.S. maybe from other countries. Like when my parents first came to the U.S., they never saw snow before, and they moved to New York, and there was, they had no idea that the entire city could be covered in snow, you know, 3 feet of snow actually. Our first winter, we had a big storm, so we had maybe 1 meter of snow fall
Wow.
in maybe 3 or 4 days, 1 meter. So extreme amount of snow, a lot of problems happened.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, no, that's
but it was still something, some kind of an experience. So
every part of
thank
the
you.
world just to get that experience, because
I can hear
people
myself.
come to the U.S. maybe from other countries. Like when my parents first came to the U.S., they never saw snow before, and they moved to New York, and there was, they had no idea that the entire city could be covered in snow,
Hey,
you know,
Walter.
3 feet of snow actually. Our first winter, we had a big storm, so we
This
had
is going to
maybe
be a little
one
bit of a
meter of
problem.
snow fall in maybe 3 or 4 days, 1 meter. So
I think maybe your speakers.
a lot of
Walter, sorry.
problems happened. But it was still something, some kind of experience. So just to get that experience,
But,
because I can hear myself. To the U.S. maybe from other countries, like when my parents first came to the U.S., they never saw snow.
Sorry, I felt really bad. I felt really bad. I had no idea how to control that.
New boy.
Yeah, right? It's a situation that's a little bit crazy with the speaker and stuff. But yeah, his picture was really cute. Hey, Wilson, how's it going, man?
Hey, Farhan, how are you doing?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
How was your Saturday?
Great. Yeah, it was great. And how about you, Farhan?
It was good. I was telling Gregory that I didn't really do anything the past 24 hours. I came home, I rested, I did some cooking today. I made shrimp fried rice. So it's a little bit of an Asian food. I think it's like a Chinese dish, but I wanted to see if I could make it. So shrimp fried rice, and I had vegetables for dinner. So it was really nice. I like cooking different things, at least trying. Like, for example, last night, I had fish. It's a fish called tilapia. I don't know if there's other languages, how you guys say it. But, excuse me, it's a very popular fish here. It's very lean, very healthy fish. And then today I had shrimp fried rice. So just relaxing. Nice weekend.
Cool.
Yeah.
If I had a day to relax, I would choose to go to the sauna.
Yeah, right. Or maybe get a massage or something.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking of doing something like that because I'll be leaving my job. I've had my job for 1 year and 7 months, and it's been a fun job. I've learned a lot. I've traveled a lot, but I don't want to stay anymore. I want to.
Do you mean you quit?
Yeah, I resigned. Honestly, I resigned because I saw that I wasn't learning anything. I already knew most of the things that we were talking about, and it wasn't exciting for me anymore. So I decided that I will resign, and I will maybe travel. I'll definitely work on Colingo, working on, I'll take some exams. I'll see about, graduate school. Maybe I want to get my master's in some subject. So starting next Friday, I'll be a freelancer almost. I'll be working in Colingo. I'll be working for another company in California, just from my computer from home, working from home. And yeah, hopefully it's a good experience. I want to travel and see some different places maybe. But if I stayed with my job, I would have to stay until June of next year. And in that case, if I wanted to stay that long, I would not be able to apply to, graduate school, because graduate school, the deadlines are all in October, November, January, February, like December, sorry. So usually November, December, January, February. So I need to apply and take exams and do all of that stuff.
Sorry, graduate school is higher education?
Graduate school is higher than bachelor's, so master's, for example. I got my bachelor's degree already.
What's your profession?
I was a software designer, software project manager and designer. But I don't. Yeah, so yeah, a little bit of programming, but mostly more management. Mostly installing software for different hospitals, for different healthcare centers. So I worked with a lot of doctors, a lot of nurses who need, software for their clinics, for their patients, things like that. It was fun, but I didn't want to stay any longer. So it's going to be exciting for me. Maybe in the next 2 months. The other company that I'll be working for, so the first company, of course, is Colingo. I'll be still, teaching lessons, but also I will be working on computer, programming and software for another company in California. So maybe I can move to California. That's my hope.
I've heard that California is good for software projects, right?
Yeah, it's the best state right now in the U.S. A lot of the software engineers, managers, project managers, we are all, our dream is to go to California because all of the jobs are there, all the good jobs are there.
Silicon Valley.
Exactly, Silicon Valley, right? So Silicon Valley, I mean, like for example, between San Francisco and San Jose and a few other cities, in English we say the Bay Area. If you were to Google the Bay Area, you would find out all of the places near San Francisco. And all of the big companies, I mean, Facebook, Google, Apple, they are all based in that part of the country. So not necessarily, I don't care so much about Facebook, Google, Apple, but like even Colingo has their offices in San Francisco. So to see what is available, I need to start investigating. Right now, where I live, it's very far away from any major part of the country. Chicago is close by, just 2 hours, 2.5 hours, but I'm not near New York or California or Boston or big, technical city.
Sorry, can I ask?
Sure, absolutely.
I'm very curious about Colinga company. What is it company? I don't understand it. Not so profit company. Or
Yeah.
Maybe it's only beginning.
That is exactly what it is. So Colingo and many other companies, the other company that I'll be working for at the end of this month, the other software company, they are both startups. In English, we say startup, right? So
No.
young people come together, and one of them is a software engineer, one of them is a teacher, one of them is a manager, right? Maybe one of them has a business background. They all come together and they say, let's make a company. It doesn't matter. It will live online. They
have only idea.
They have an idea, and then they try to build it. So Colingo actually has been doing very well. I mean, they have a building, they have an office, they have a space in San Francisco, but lots of startups are still ideas. Still companies that are in the hearts and minds of their founders.
Say that because it's only idea, not realized.
And not realized exactly, yeah. But Facebook started in a bedroom, right?
Yeah.
Two guys got together and they said, "Hey, let's make an internet program," right? So, yeah, like applications for all the mobile phones we have, Android, Apple, right? So many of the applications are startups, right? So Yelp, I think, was also a startup for food. People go to Yelp for restaurants nearby. That's a good application. So I want to see what I can do. Staying here and working and working and working 16, 18 hours a day. Didn't like it.
Yeah, Farhan, I understand you. Right now, I am working on in a company that they have a software that is very, very huge, and the technology is old, and I don't like. I think that I don't like to work on big projects because it's they have a lot of processes. It's I don't know. At the end, you end that you are like a robot there. You have to follow guidelines, policies.
You're not designing anything that's your own, right?
Yeah. I'm very disappointed with that. I think that yesterday I realized that I like just mm, short projects because you learn a lot from them, and then you don't be boring because you will finish that project, and then you will start another, and then it's
It's a
like a
constant
mini.
learning experience, yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's a constant learning experience. For me, the first year of my job was amazing. I loved it. New projects, new ideas, new people, new skills. But then after I passed my 1 year, 3 month, 1 year, 4 month mark, everything was just old. I was in meetings every day. People were telling me, do this, follow this process, follow this procedure, right? It was very difficult for me to say, no, I want to do something that I think is creative, that I think is meaningful, right? So that was another reason, Wilson. That's young people from my company, from the company that I'm leaving, all of these different companies, right? They are doing the same thing, They stay in one company. We're young, we're, mobile. We don't have families. We can move. We can live on just water and cookies. We're young people, right? So yeah, for us it doesn't matter, So we're still finding what we really want to do. For me, I love languages, So I love teaching. So maybe startups like Colingo are my future, Maybe I need to go somewhere else and see what I need to do. So
I
that's the
hear
plan.
you two men, young men, and I envy. When I was young, I changed my work uh, for 3, 4, 5 years, and I changed my work. But now, when I'm old, I want to continue in some place because it's difficult to change.
Yeah, right. After after a certain amount of time, it becomes difficult. But I
In
don't
this
want
place,
to wait.
I 12 years, and I don't want to change it because I know people. It's good company. It's good people, and I like this place, and I like my work. But I envy
No, that's great.
the young
That's
men.
we want, honestly, I think, Gregory Wilson and I are looking for that same satisfaction, that same bliss, to use to
Mhm.
use the word you use. Yeah, it's an adventure, right? So when somebody reaches that job where, wow, they love it, they really love it, this is good company, good people, good atmosphere, good environment, right? That's what we want. And yeah, my job was great, I liked it, but now it's time for me to move on. So
But
we'll
I
see what
know,
happens.
country,
Hmm.
young people, yours profession, Wilson profession, very successful. The great company take them, and it's a big money, it's a big benefits.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That's the hope. We'll see. We'll see, Gregory. As of right now, I don't have too much of an idea, but I need to see what, I need to explore. So,
By the way,
yeah.
uh, I I wrote a link on the chat box.
Uh-huh.
Um, uh, I took this course, and I learned a lot, especially from that professor. I think it's a hacker, and he has a company, and he he
Professor Hacker.
yeah, he has a lot of videos in the course, and I like it. I learned a lot from him, and so it changed my direction, I think. Uh, so maybe you can see useful for hand, especially
Mm-hmm.
if you are working in a startup.
Mm-hmm.
In this course, it will introduce the common tools that startups in the Silicon Valley are using.
Mm-hmm. Great, Wilson. Thanks. That's awesome. I just saved it to my favorites. Yeah, that's what I need to do. Right now, the next 2 weeks, I need to find what I want to do. I have a job with the other startup and also for Colingo, but maybe graduate school, maybe something else, right? We'll see. I will keep you guys well aware of what happens.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome though.
Don't leave us,
Oh no,
please.
I won't. I won't.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I am
yeah.
I am staying with Colingo for forever right now. I don't have any plans of leaving.
Cool.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. You guys stayed in class, which is great. I think Walter is not coming back. So let us take a quick look at the grammar today. So we covered this grammar already in many other lessons, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But before we look at the grammar, actually, um, could you guys each describe the last trip you took, the last time you went somewhere? Just describe where you went, how that trip was. Let's start with Gregory.
The big trip was to Roma. My wife and I
Uh-huh.
go to 5 days to the Roma, and we hire apartment, not apartment, only one room,
Uh-huh.
but it's near the Vatican, 5 minutes to Vatican, and we was walking this amazing place, amazing buildings, and seeing. And we was in Museum of Vatican, 16 Capella,
Uh-huh.
and we one day we see the Pope.
Really, you guys saw the Pope?
Pope, yes, it was much very big distance. From big distance, the Pope was small, but we see living Pope.
Yeah.
It was a very interesting trip. It's my second time in Roma. It was good.
Yeah, Italy is, I've heard it's very beautiful. I have not visited yet, but I know Rome, especially Rome, has so many beautiful historic places, right? All the buildings are
All
from,
building is historical.
yeah,
As guide can say about it a lot.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Wilson, what about you? Describe the last trip you took.
I don't remember, perhaps, to be honest.
Really?
uh,
Maybe,
yeah,
or
I
maybe
think it,
somewhere, maybe sometime you went to another place in Bolivia or something like that.
uh, well, I went to the countryside, but very far,
Uh,
where you can have electricity, you can have meat. Uh, I mean, you don't have anything in there. Uh, uh,
Sorry, Wilson, you're
mm,
from Brazil, yes?
I'm from Bolivia,
Ah,
Gregory.
okay.
So in that place, I learned many things, like to to value many things that we have here, because when I got back to my town, I saw the light and in the streets, and I missed a lot that. So yeah, it was interesting to have that experience.
so really, I think going to the countryside makes you miss certain things about the city, but then when you come back to the city, you miss a lot of things about the countryside, right?
Yeah, maybe if in there could be internet, I'll move there, I think.
That's awesome. No, I mean, yeah, look into it. I mean, maybe you can get an internet that's satellite-based company or something, you know. In the US, until very recently, we had big problems. If you lived in the very remote parts of the country, like no people, you know, just mountains, small villages, it was very difficult to get internet. But now there's a company, excuse me, that does internet through satellite. So even people in the very remote areas now have really good internet. So maybe there's also an option in Bolivia for that.
Yeah, but Evo Morales, the president of my nation, bought a satellite,
Uh-huh.
and at the end of this year, soon we will have in the orbit this satellite, so we will have internet in the remote places.
That's awesome. So it's going to be, is this Bolivia's first satellite, first national satellite?
Yeah, it's the first one, and it's our first experience. We are expecting a lot from this news, but we'll see.
Uh-huh. No, that's great. That's great. I know there are a few countries in the world that are developing their own ability to send satellites. So recently, I think Iran did it, but nobody knows what they're actually doing. uh, I think Pakistan and India are both. India wants to already has a space station, and yeah, many countries want to explore outer space as much as they can. Uh, lots to explore, I think. I should make an article about satellites in space one day, maybe for you guys. We can talk about that.
Israel sends satellites, but we don't have our own rocket. We ask for Russian.
Yeah, the Soyuz, right? The Soyuz rocket.
I don't remember, but it's good rocket. And the first time was not good, and second time was good. We have our satellite.
No, that's great. Lots of countries are doing this actually, so it's exciting. Anyway, guys, so let's get started with our lesson. Lesson topic is actually prepositions of place and time. We've looked at this before many times. We use prepositions such as from and to in order to describe place and time, right? So we can use from if we are talking about our origin, right? Where we are from. I am from Bangladesh. Wilson is from Bolivia. Gregory is from Israel, right? So, or we can talk about an origin of a trip and then a destination, right? So I am traveling from New York City to Miami, right? I am traveling from Chicago to San Francisco, right? So both an origin and a destination, we can use from and to. The other thing that's really good about when we talk about time especially is we use from, and we can use from and to, but we can also use from and until, right? So I can say I will be teaching Colingo classes from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. my time here, or I can say I am teaching Colingo classes from 8 p.m. until 11 p.m., right? Same situation. Up to and until, there's no difference in meaning. We can exchange those as we like. And then the very last example is through, right? So if we are talking about going through a location, right, or passing through a location, we can use that for when we are talking about place, right? So I drove through Beersheba to reach, I think the city is Eilat. I don't know, Gregory. Eilat.
Exactly.
Yeah, I went through Beersheba to reach Eilat, right? So you go through a city, you don't, maybe you stop, maybe you don't, who cares? And you can go to another city, right? I drove through New York to go to Pennsylvania, right? Pennsylvania is another state. And when it comes to time, we use through in a different way. So we can say, for example, through the 1970s, or rock music was very popular through the 1970s, right? So we are saying that rock music was popular during that entire time, right? Was popular through the 1970s. we can say, you know, Michael Jordan was popular through the 1990s, right? He was very popular. And we don't have to necessarily focus on very large spans of time. We can also use through for a very short amount of time, right? I worked on my homework through the entire night, right? From the time the sun set all the way to the next morning, I was working on my homework. So through the night, right? Any questions so far, guys, on, so we saw 3 examples, from and to, from and until, and then also the word through. Any questions on those?
It's clear.
Yeah, you guys have seen this lesson before, I know. So every time I repeat it, I think, oh my God, these guys are probably falling asleep. You know.
No, not only from you. I hear it a lot and I use it.
All the time, yeah. I definitely heard you guys use it, so that's why we're not going to spend too much time on it. Let's jump right to the article, actually, guys. And today's article I actually really like because it's talking about an interesting idea in forensics, right? What is forensics? Do you guys know what forensics is? Let me type it here.
I'm not.
Wilson, do you know what forensics is?
Maybe it's about when somebody is dead. There is a bunch of people that investigate that body. In what way he died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely part of it, right? So a lot of times, forensics is something that we hear about or that we, read about after somebody dies, maybe after a murder, right? Because the police, they investigate the reason behind somebody's death, right? Even if somebody died normally, the proper rules, you have to get a death certificate, lots of different things. But if somebody is murdered, then you have to investigate, right? So forensics is actually the study of, using scientific clues or scientific signs and information to solve a mystery, right? It doesn't have to be a murder. It can be anything, right? Maybe somebody stole jewelry from a store, right? So the forensics team can come and they can look for fingerprints, right? They can look for all sorts of clues to help figure out what was the cause, who did this, or how something happened, right? Yeah, Wilson, what's your question with those 3 words?
Sometimes I don't know when if I say someone is dead or is died. I think they are the same. I am right?
So died is actually the past tense, right? So, for example, he died yesterday, right? If you want to talk about someone's state, like it's a dead, somebody is now dead, then you would say he is dead, right? So let's say you hear a story about somebody who had an accident on the road, right? He died yesterday in the accident. And then if somebody asks him, is he alive? Or let's say it was somebody else asks you, is he alive? No, he is dead, right? So dead is their status. Dead is it's the opposite of alive, right? So he is alive or he is living versus no, he is dead, right? So we use dead in the present tense, right? Or we use dead as an adjective for something else, like the dead body, right? So you can say things like the dead body or he is dead, but died is the past tense, right? So he died. And death is the noun, right? So it's that it's the opposite of life. I mean, it's the full it's the full experience, right? So life after death, right? I mean, something in religion, for example. Death is almost like the big picture, right? Just like life is a very big noun, includes everything that happens in life. Death is like the exact opposite. It's not a verb or anything like that. So when we're talking about people, we want to use either died for the past tense or dead for the present tense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Farhan.
Yeah, no problem. That's a good question. A lot of these questions come up when we see different things, and we are actually going to be seeing these words in our article today. So let me put the article here. So I've been saying this to all my classes, and I'm going to increasingly start looking at this newspaper for my news articles. If you guys are interested in improving your English, right? Improving your English not only in terms of understanding, reading, vocabulary, grammar, I highly suggest that you visit this website, npr.org, National Public Radio. It's an extremely good news source and one of the best, most honest newspapers in the country. They have a lot of radio programs. You can listen to NPR radio in the morning, evening. Their international news is very, very good. Not the garbage on CNN, like, you know, trash, right? Complete garbage. NPR is very, very good news. So I'm trying to share some articles from this website also. So let's get started, guys. So I'm going to screen share as well, and let's see if we can get started. Okay. Oops. Could detectives use microbes to solve murders, right? What are microbes? Microbes are microorganisms, bacteria, you know, things that we see using the microscope, right? Could detectives use microbes to solve murders, right? So right here,
solve murders.
Solve murders.
Yeah. Words I know, but together solve murders I don't understand.
Solve murders together means, for example, to find out who murdered somebody, right? To find out the killer, find out the murderer.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Solve is like finding the solution, right? So murder is to solve is to find the solution, and a murder is, you know, when somebody dies. So to solve a murder, essentially to find the person who died, or the person who did the murder, the murderer, right? So see, guys, like right here, listen to the story. All things considered, this is one of the best things about NPR. Almost all of their articles have an audio clip, and you can listen to this program, All Things Considered. I love this program. Every single time I'm in the car, I listen to NPR. It's, I mean, extremely good for English conversation. They do a very good job speaking.
Great stuff.
Very easy to understand, yeah. So, okay. Let's see. Okay, we are not going to see these pictures because some of these pictures actually may show dead bodies. But, you know, if you want on your own time, you can. Otherwise, we were just going to skip this. So, in the woods outside Huntsville, Texas, scientists are trying to determine whether they can use the microbes that live on the human body as microscopic witnesses that could help catch criminals. It's a strange scene at the Southeast Texas Applied Forensic Science Facility. At first, it's easy to miss the human bodies scattered among the tall pines, wild grass, and weeds. We hope microbes can tell crime scene investigators how long a person has been dead, Sybil Buccelli of Sam Houston State University explains, as she leads a group of researchers and visitors from NPR through a tall chain-link fence surrounding the facility and down a dusty path to her research plot. The facility is one of the few places where, in the interest of developing new tools for forensic science, researchers can leave human bodies out in the open to study what happens as the remains decompose. Buccelli is an entomologist who has... Entomologist, guys, is a scientist who studies insects. So bugs, you know, any insect, cockroaches, bees, you know, all those things. Buccelli is an entomologist who has spent years studying the way insects on a body can help pinpoint how long a murder victim has been dead. Knowing how long it takes a particular species of fly to complete its life cycle from egg to larva to pupa to winged insect, for example, can help an investigator figure out how long a corpse has been exposed to the insects. establishing a minimum time since death. So this is a complicated paragraph. What it's saying is this lady, Buccelli, she studies insects, and she can use, for example, if there's a dead body outside, right? If it's not underground, if it's not buried, then insects will start to take it over, right? Insects will lay their eggs. If she knows how long it takes for a fly to go from the egg to the insect, the full insect, she can use those measurements, that time, to learn how long somebody may have been dead, right? Maybe a dead body. That got Buccelli thinking, if insects can change through time, then so do bacteria, she says. And if insects can be used, so can the bacteria. It's possible, she says, that information from bacteria could improve the accuracy of these time-of-death estimates. The microbes might also be useful when insects aren't present, she says, helping to determine how long a person has been dead, when insects aren't available to do that. Such research is just in the beginning stages, but already a scientific team at the University of Colorado has been able to use bacteria alone to narrow down how long a mouse has been dead to within 3 days. We're really pushing the envelope of microbial forensic science, says microbial ecologist Jessica Metcalf, member of the Colorado team. She and her boss, microbiome researcher Rob Knight, have come to the forensic facility in southeastern Texas to collaborate with Buccelli, hoping to do with human bodies what they did in the mice. Right. So this is a little bit more of this. Is a lot of it's very specific stuff, but we can skip down to, let's see. There's one part I think I wanted to look at. Okay. And because different varieties of microbes, back here, are found in different places, the bacterial census of a corpse might show whether a body has been killed in one place and then dumped in another. Microbes might also help police who are searching for unmarked graves. Right? And that's not all. Knight says he thinks microbes could one day provide for each of us a kind of microbial fingerprint that could help police solve all sorts of crimes while we're alive, as well as after we're dead. Right? So it's a very interesting article because it's looking at the science behind bacteria, right? The science behind microbes. This lady Buccelli, she has been doing this with insects for a long time, and her idea was, if I can do it with insects, why can't I do it with bacteria? Right? So she's using this to estimate this kind of stuff. What do you guys think about this article? I know it's not a happy topic, but yeah, Gregory, what do you think?
Very interesting. It's maybe it's helpful. Okay, if it's help to police, why not? It's good.
Yeah, right. I mean, how often, for example, do we use something this creative to solve murders? Right. Usually, I feel like the police comes and they look at the fingerprints, they look at the blood, maybe they look for a weapon, you know, but they don't really search for, you know, scientific clues maybe as much as they should.
There is the scientist criminology. It's a Russian term, and it's very useful in investigation. It's always I know it 10 years ago they're still in my apartment. Open the door and police come to check, and there was one guy from police. He take footprint and fingerprints, and he makes some special stuff for but say not find the crime.
Really?
Still, yeah.
Yeah, so you know, sometimes police, I mean, really depends, right? In some countries, the police don't have the technology to study, the forensics. Like even, DNA is something that we use all the time, right? I mean, if somebody was killed, if somebody was raped, if somebody was, if something horrible happens to somebody, then you can use DNA, right? You find a hair, you find some blood, and you can do DNA analysis, right? But like my country, like Bangladesh, I mean, good luck. I don't know if if the police have access to a DNA laboratory, they might not have. Yeah.
Sorry, do you see serial X-Files?
Yeah.
Maybe, yes?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Yes, it's Sally, and I don't remember the man. It's, Sally all time investigate bodies, and I see how she make it. I learned how she make it. Very profound. It's a lot of knowledge in this.
Yeah, right. I mean, and DNA analysis is so powerful, right? You can find the persons who maybe was there. You can also maybe find relatives, right? So, Wilson, what do you think about this article?
As Gregory, it's very interesting, I think, especially for the forensic side, because they'll be able to investigate with real time um, evidence. Uh, but I think that they'll need to invest more in this on this researching, because if they can how can I say they can improve uh, the researching. They will have more accurate investigation in the future.
Yeah, definitely, right. This is one of the things that I think is really exciting, because they are now looking for research, right? Usually this kind of research begins at the university level. So they heard about this other group at University of Colorado who are using bacteria for mice, right? Or insects for mice, something like that. And these professors and scientists are all coming together to find out if they can work on something bigger, right? I don't know honestly how much money will go towards research like this, but I mean, Wilson, what do you think if there's a murder, for example, right? If there's a body, what do the police normally do? Like, for example, when they come to the scene, what do they look for?
Uh, they will see if I don't know. I'll see if there are print foods. The if how the position of the body, and you can guess what happened, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think maybe they will need to use something like if they can see the last image, if uh, the body saw, so like a memory in their eyes.
Sure. If they can somehow trace back to what the last thing that the victim saw, right? The last thing that the person who died saw, then that could be something that they can use, right, to figure out what happened.
Yeah.
And we use dental records a lot, right? Even poor countries, if you need to identify a body, right? So one of the things that they were saying in the article was maybe the body is moved from one location to another location. See, you see it, guys? From and to. Haha, get it? If the body is moved from one location to another location, how would we know about that with the current investigation and forensic practices? I don't know if there's a way to know that, right? I mean, Wilson, do you think police in Bolivia or in any country, is it possible for them to know if a body was moved? Maybe you find a dead body in the river, and the person was killed in the forest, many miles away. How would you know that that was the case?
Oh, it's difficult, very difficult.
Yeah. It's a problem, right? I don't think we know. I don't think there is a way to know. Um, but with this scientific investigation, for example, if they use bacteria, maybe one type of bacteria was in the forest, and then maybe the body was there for a few hours. That bacteria was on the body from the forest. Then then the body is taken to the river, and you have different bacteria, right? Or something else happens. You can use the bacteria to identify, oh, this bacteria only lives in the forest. How does this body have both the water bacteria and the forest bacteria, right? So that's a possibility, but honestly, I don't know. I don't know how easy it could be to do that. Just
Right.
so many things change, right? Yeah, go ahead, Wilson.
It's maybe in some cases this this technique will be effective, but as you said, what happens if the body was thrown to the river? So in that case, it's very difficult to see via microbes what happened, right?
Exactly right. Uh, when it comes to this job, though, guys, Gregory, do you think this would be a difficult job for you? Let's say you are a forensic scientist, right? And you have to travel from your office to the place somebody died. I mean, would this be a difficult job for you in terms of emotionally maybe having to work on a dead body, things like this?
Very difficult for me. I think it's unacceptable because I don't suffer the bodies. I don't want to see dead people, and
Yeah,
it's make me bad feelings.
yeah.
I have father of my wife work in morgue.
Oh,
Morgue.
really?
Yes, all doctor by education.
Mm-hmm.
All his life he was working in morgue, but and my wife, doctor too, she was helping the father. She was younger and going to help him. Uh, she don't afraid of bodies, but I not at all. Uh, it's not good for me.
Yeah, I would agree. When I was in college, we took a class, anatomy, physiology, just science classes, and we had bodies. I mean, these people donated their bodies to science, right? Before they died, they said, I want my body to be donated for science. They didn't want to be buried or, cremated or anything like that. They wanted to be... Do you guys know what cremated means? Cremated?
Yes.
Yeah. When...
Burned.
Yep.
Exactly right. When you're burned, either when the body is burned through a chemical process, maybe in an oven or something like that, or in India actually they just use fire, because
I know that I see one movie.
yeah, and people in India who are Hindus, Hindu religion, you don't bury, but you actually cremate the body. So these people donated their bodies to science, right? And it was really, I mean, at the first class, I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Like, this used to be somebody's son, mother, father, right? And I am just cutting into their body, right? I mean, for investigation, for a class, right? But I mean, people in medical school, like you said, Gregory, your father-in-law and your wife, they have to do that kind of education. right?
My wife tell me when she learn medicine and go to anatomy, the student not have nothing feelings, say can eat in near to body, say can eat something.
You shouldn't do that though. Simply because there are so many chemicals in that environment, right? It's not good to eat anywhere near the body, but I mean, if somebody is that brave, I guess you can. But it does involve a lot of mental preparation, I think, to do something like this. You know, you need to be really strong in your mind, like, okay, this is somebody who died. I am respecting the body as much as I can, right? Wilson, what do you think about this? Yeah, go ahead,
Sorry,
Gregory. Yeah, go ahead, Gregory. Yeah.
I think it's only people can accustom himself to this.
Yeah, I did. For me, it wasn't that difficult. The first day was kind of crazy. The second, third time I went, it was much more easy. And then by the end of the semester, it was normal for me. So it takes time. Uh, Wilson, any last thoughts? We have 2 minutes, unfortunately.
Uh, no, no, not so much.
Would you be able to do this job?
No way.
Really?
Yeah, no. I'm not. I didn't. I wasn't made to do this kind of job.
Yeah, right. You have to have the right. I mean, you just have to be prepared, I think, right? Some people, if they see blood, they faint. Like, they can't stand the sight of blood. We say in English, they can't stand the sight of blood. If they see blood, then they collapse, right? They faint. Um, those people can't become doctors. You know, it's not the right profession for them. So, yeah, I don't know, but somebody needs to do these jobs, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So, exactly. So even if it's dangerous, even if it's emotionally draining, right? If it's a difficult mental job, people still have to do it, right? So, anyway, guys, thank you. Awesome. It was an awesome class. Thank you guys, both of you guys, for staying.
Yes, it was awesome class. I agree with you.
All right, thanks a lot. No, Gregory, it was awesome because of you guys. I didn't do anything. So I have another class starting right now, actually. So if you guys are free, you're welcome to join. Otherwise, I'll see you guys later.
Goodbye.
Okay, Farhan, thank you.
Alrighty. Take care, guys. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. But excuse me, it's a very popular fish here. It's very lean, very healthy fish. And then today I had shrimp fried rice. So just relaxing. Nice weekend.
Cool.
Yeah.
If I had a day to relax, I would choose to go to the sauna.
Yeah, right. Or maybe get a massage or something.
Yeah.
You know,
Good
I'm
stuff.
thinking of doing something like that because I'll be leaving my job. I've had my job for 1 year and 7 months, and it's been a fun job. I've learned a lot. I've traveled a lot, but I don't want to stay anymore. I want to
Do you
maybe
mean you quit?
Yeah, I resigned. Honestly, I resigned because I saw that I wasn't learning anything. I already knew most of the things that we were talking about, and it wasn't exciting for me anymore. So I decided that I will resign and I will maybe travel. I'll definitely work on Colingo, working on, I'll take some exams. I'll see about, graduate school. Maybe I want to get my master's in some subject. So starting next Friday, I'll be working on. I'll be a freelancer almost. I'll be working in Colingo. I'll be working for another company in California, just from my computer from home. Working from home. And yeah, hopefully it's a good experience. I want to travel and see some specifically before Gregory. What's the Gregory? Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So you said it was Cave. You said
Cave.
Cave.
It's meaning bliss.
Oh, like a breeze, like this. Like it was
No.
a.
No.
Maybe we can spell it. Ah, bliss. Yes, yes, yes. Bliss, as in blissful. Maybe. It has blessings. It has a little bit of blessings. Bliss also means happiness, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean.
Nice, nice. That's great. So, in terms of, I guess, how cold does it usually get in the autumn in Israel? Does it get? It doesn't snow, right? I know because Israel seems like it's very warm.
Yes, we don't have snow at all.
Uh-huh. There's not even in the mountains, like in the south, or no, the south is desert actually.
Yes, we have one mount in snow, yes, and it's an attractive place for all country. We
For the
go to snow.
people who want to ski, right? All those people.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. That's good. At least there's one mountain that has snow, right? But yeah, it's nice. I like warm temperatures mostly, but springtime and fall and spring and autumn are really good because the weather is normal. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, so it's blissful. You can say it's blissful.
Blissful. In the
Yeah.
winter, we don't have snow, only rains.
Mm-hmm. Which I think that's nice too, right? If it rains, it kind of cools things down. That's probably nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the summer, it's no raining at all summer.
Mm-hmm.
After that, raining is very nice.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's great. I wish we had four seasons in every part of the world just to get that experience, because people come to the U.S. maybe from other countries. Like when my parents first came to the U.S., they never saw snow before, and they moved to New York, and there was, they had no idea that the entire city could be covered in snow, you know, 3 feet of snow actually. Our first winter, we had a big storm, so we had maybe 1 meter of snow fall
Wow.
in maybe 3 or 4 days, 1 meter. So extreme amount of snow, a lot of problems happened.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's.
But it was still something, some kind of an experience. So
Every part
thank
of the
you.
world just to get that experience, because
I can hear myself.
people come to the U.S. maybe from other countries. Like when my parents first came to the U.S., they never saw snow before, and they moved to New York, and there was, they had no idea that the entire city could be covered in snow.
Hey, Walter.
3 feet of snow, actually.
Hello, Farhan.
Hey, how's it going, Gregory?
Everything's okay. Everything good. How are you?
Good, good. Everything is good. It's been a very quiet day here. It's been raining almost the entire day, so just stayed at home Saturday, just relaxed and rested.
Good for you.
Yeah. What about you? How was your day?
It's only morning. I wake up before half hour, and it's chilly now.
Hmm.
Country as usual. It's hot, uh, and it's good. It's nice. After very hot summer, a little bit chilly. It's cave. You know this word? Cave.
Yeah. Um, like it's refreshing, a little bit of a refreshing
Good
feeling.
morning.
Yeah. But I hadn't heard of that word.
Our first winter, we had a big storm, so we had
This is going to be
maybe
a little
1
bit of a
meter of
problem.
snowfall in maybe 3 or 4 days, 1 meter. So
I think maybe
extreme
your
amount of
speakers.
snow, a lot
Oh,
of
Walter, sorry.
problems happened. Yeah, but it was still something some kind of experience. So every part of the world, just to get that experience.
But
I guess I can hear myself. To the U.S. maybe from other countries. Like when my parents first came to the U.S., they never saw snow.
uh-huh. Sorry,
Um,
I felt really
like,
bad. I felt really bad. I couldn't. I had no idea
like
how to
this
control that.
new boy.
Yeah, right. It's a situation that's a little bit crazy with the speaker and stuff. But yeah, his picture was really cute. Hey Wilson, how's it going, man?
Hey Farhan, how are you doing?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
How was your Saturday?
Great. Yeah, it was great. And how about you, Farhan?
It was good. I was telling Gregory that I didn't really do anything the past 24 hours. I came home, I rested. I did some cooking today. I made shrimp fried rice. So it's a little bit of an Asian food. Um, I think it's like a Chinese dish, but I wanted to see if I could make it. So shrimp fried rice, and I had vegetables for dinner. So it was really nice. I like cooking different things, at least trying. Um, like for example, last night I had fish. It's a fish called tilapia. I don't know if there's other languages how you guys say it.